Thinking about living in Costa Rica? You are not going to want to miss this video because we're going to be talking about why people end up leaving in Costa Rica. It is my firm belief that more people end up leaving than staying. Why is that? We're going to do a deep dive, man. We're going to do a deep dive. This is a big cup of coffee video. You might want to grab some tequila, whatever you need, but it's going to be a good one in about 45 seconds. Guys, I'm Micheal Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd totally appreciate it. You can hit the notification bell, but it doesn't do shit. So you don't have to hit it, but I'd appreciate the subscribe. Guys, we do have a relocation retreat coming up. If Costa Rica's on your radar, but you're not quite sure, this 6-7 day event, I guarantee, is probably for you. Have vacation, great information, all my contacts, all my friends. The contacts are worth the price of admission alone. I would love to see you there. We have a freaking great time. By the time it's over, I think you'll know whether Costa Rica is right for you or it's honey, we're going to Belize. All that information is in a link in the description below. Love to see you. It's a great time, man. A great time. If you appreciate all the information I've been given for the last 16 years, 1,000 videos, a fun way to donate to me or help me out is to also a link in the description. Buy me a coffee. You can buy me a coffee, show some love. I would totally appreciate it. A lot of you already have, and I appreciate it, but you can keep doing it. I don't stop drinking. I don't stop drinking coffee. All right, so why do people leave Costa Rica? I'm sure you could guess some of them, but I want to first tell you how this came about. I put up a video, I don't know, last week or something. I think the thumbnail said something about my simple life versus your big house or something like that. Well, this lady left this comment on there, and I thought, man, this is really good. It hits everything. And I even told her I was going to put this up. I'm not bagging on her. I totally appreciate her being totally honest about her experience in Costa Rica, and I think it's going to be very helpful because we're going to hit a lot of this, a lot of these reasons, but maybe just a little bit. I'll have a little bit different slant on it and how I deal with some of these things. So I'm going to read it to you. Now I'm paraphrasing. It was a longer comment, but I'm just trying to hit the more pertinent parts of the comment. You can go look at it. It's on that video somewhere underneath it. I had to leave CR, lived in Atenas, hot, etc. The best climate in the world. What a joke. Maybe in 2010 it was. I tried tico living. No hot water in the kitchen and bathroom sink. Dealt with fruit bats, dust mites, mold, etc. Then the medical emergency kicked in. There is no culture there. Laforuna is a tourist trap. Wasted a ton of money relocating. I could not find quality food. They are spraying the crap out of the food. It is toxic. I was warned not to even put my feet in the stream behind my house because of the chemicals in the water. Bottom line, do your research. She goes on. I am a young 64. I gave it my best shot. I came back to New York. If I had had a heart attack in Costa Rica, I would end up in medical bankruptcy. Their public medical system is overtaxed unless you go private. And she ended it by saying, if you have alcohol issues, not happening if you want support. Now, she hit a lot of stuff here, man, a lot of stuff, and I want to talk about these things because I think a lot of you would probably realize some of the reasons people leave here, but they're a little bit glossed over. So, health, she's right about that. Maybe they were new, they didn't have any of the CAHA, the socialized medicine here, and they had to go back to the States, and it was, serious stuff. Family, a lot of people leave because they miss their grandkids or they miss their family. They're not close enough. Some people came down here with the hopes of maybe having some money or making some money. It didn't work out. And they're just, they go back. So those are kind of some big reasons. But there's also a lot of littler reasons that we're going to talk about. So She said she dealt with fruit bats. Okay, first of all, she talks about she tried tico living, no hot water in the kitchen and in the bathroom sink. I don't have hot water in my kitchen or my bathroom sink either. I only have a suicide shower in the shower, which is water, hot water on demand. So a lot of people don't even know that. Even when they buy a tico house, you come from a place where hot water's in the kitchen sink, is in the bathroom sink. That's not necessarily true here unless you get, you upgrade to a nicer house. Now you can definitely get that put in, just so we're clear. You can put hot water, you can get that little demand thing or whatever for your kitchen or your bathroom. I do not have that. She says she dealt with fruit bats and dust mites and mold. I had a bat in my house 3 nights ago. Came in, flew around. I closed off the doors. It eventually flew out. That happens every now and then. But that's not what I'm talking. I'm not talking about bats. So here we are now. Was she ready for no hot water in the kitchen and no hot water in the bathroom? Maybe she was. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe that annoyed her, and that's another reason people leave here. Annoyances, minor little annoyances. Some things that might annoy me may not annoy you. Barking dogs. I don't care where you're living in Costa Rica, man, there's barking dogs almost all the time. Is that annoying to you? Does it bug you every time you hear a dog bark? It's like, oh my God, shut that down. That could be stressful to a lot of people. Now, maybe she doesn't like bats. Maybe she's scared of bats. Maybe she didn't know anything about bats. I didn't know bats came into the house. Dust mites, mold. It's humid here, man. It's humid. She's right. She's right. I got mold. I'm looking at it right now. I guess it's mold. The bottom of the cement they use it gets all white and I guess a little black. I got that too. I'm going to tell you how I deal with all this later. But now, again, did she know this? Were her expectations too high? Because that's a lot of people's problem too. Sometimes their expectations about Costa Rica are higher than actually Costa Rica can deliver. Okay, so that can also play a part. Now, she talked about a medical emergency, and that brings up a couple points. So she alluded to the fact it would have cost her, she went into bankruptcy. So she obviously wasn't a resident here. She didn't become a resident, and she just did maybe not, I guess after, I think she'd been here 2 years. I'm not really sure how long she'd been here, but it was pretty obvious she wasn't a resident. So sounds like she was budget living. And when I say budget living, that she had to kind of keep a budget or money could be a problem. That's what it sounds like to me. And that can be. A lot of people come down here with, let's say, only $1,200 Social Security check. That's it. They got no other money. And so they have to watch that money. And if anything was to happen, they could be in trouble. And I tell people that all the time. Just because you can live here for, let's say, $1,000, that's if everything goes right all the time. And I think we all know that that's probably not going to happen. Little things happen. Shit happens. Maintenance, your health, little things. So you always, I would say, if you're going to come down here on a fixed, $1,000, $1,500 a month budget, you better have a hack. You better have a side hustle, man. You're going to need a side hustle because it's not. You get lucky if you can sail for $1,200. It sounds good when you say it, but again, things come up, and it sounded like she couldn't have things come up, right? She said there's no culture here. Now I don't know. Okay, I want to go back. First, when I first started reading what she wrote, I thought she was, that person that's really pissy and they just badmouth just to complain. Costa Rica sucks. It sucks, man. I hate it. I would tell everybody not to go there. That's what I thought she was going to do when I first started reading. But I could tell with what she wrote, she was just, saying her experience. So I do appreciate that she wrote that because I do think it helps. Now, culture, yes, they have their own distinct culture. It's definitely not Italy. It's definitely not Spain. It's not deep embedded in here. I'm not sure what she means by culture, but they definitely have their own way of living here, which I guess is a culture. I'm not sure what she really meant by that. Now she talks about Laforuna. Uh, she wasted a ton of money relocating. Why? Maybe she didn't do her homework and research as much as she thought she did. Maybe she didn't have the right contacts. I live in Fortuna. She called it a tourist trap. Well, it's the number one tourist destination probably in Costa Rica, one or first or second place. So yeah, prices are higher here. That is true, but there are ways of beating that. I do it, and other people do it, but maybe she didn't know those. And if you come down here not knowing those things, I can totally see why she would say, I wasted a ton of money relocating. I'm betting anything that she probably didn't need to spend as much as she did. And she probably would have to take a little responsibility for that one, I think. She's talking about the quality of the food. First, I would say, if you live in the United States, be careful with throwing that stone. You guys got your own problems with food. Now, you might have more easy access to, farm-fed, organic, and that kind of thing. But if you're getting your food from a grocery store, yeah, right. Don't be throwing stones down here because you can now. But raises a good question. She didn't know where to go. You can get organic food here in Fortuna. Okay. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. She didn't know that. So I would say a lot of the food, yes, it is. They do spray here. That is, she's not wrong. She's definitely not wrong in that. But again, there is alternatives, and they're probably not as easy to find as they are in the States. That's true, but you can get them here. This is why contacts are important, guys. This is why contacts and that homework research thing is so important. I guess we'd have to define homework and research. I would say I'm not sure how much she really did on some of this stuff, but she said the stream behind her house couldn't even put your feet in it. Might be a little bit of a hyperbole on that, but she's not wrong on this either. We have a lot of rivers here. Some are a lot better than others. The one that comes right straight down from the mountain up here that makes the Laforuna waterfall, super nice river. Then we have nice ones too, but we also have pollution problem like everybody else. Costa Rica just markets themselves a little better, and it seems like, oh, everything should be crystal clear. It is not. They've got nasty ass rivers here too. So she's kind of right. But again, did she leave because of that? Or is she just kind of piling on and kind of saying some things? All the food is sprayed. The rivers are toxic. The food is toxic. I have to leave. I don't think that's why she left. I think she's just kind of adding a little bit because the food problem and the water problem is basically a problem. I don't want to say worldwide because maybe some people are dealing with it a lot better than others, but the United States has the same issues. So I don't know. She does say, bottom line, do your research. So, I don't know. So she said, if I had a heart attack in Costa Rica, I would end up in medical bankruptcy. That just tells me, A, she was probably living on a budget. B, she didn't have the CAHA here, the health insurance. And yes, well, now, here's what they would do. If you had a heart attack, you can go to the hospital and they will take care of you. What they'll do in almost all situations, regardless of the emergency, they'll stabilize you. And then you got to go because you're not paying or whatever, or you don't have insurance. But they will take you. They're not going to go, oh shit, you're having a heart attack. There's no cash in your wallet. They'll take you. But they'll stabilize you, and then you got to go. They won't continue. I mean, why would they? No one does that really. So she didn't have residency. She didn't have the CAHA. She didn't account for that when she came down here. I mean, did you just come down here like I did? Now, I got lucky. I'll be the first to admit I got lucky. I kind of watch what I eat, and I'm pretty healthy and exercise and stuff. She says she's a young 64 in here, but she wasn't prepared health wise for an emergency, so she didn't obviously have any kind of private insurance or insurance. Maybe she did, maybe she did, maybe I'm wrong about that. But if she said if she had a heart attack in CR and she would have ended up having medical bankruptcy, why? There's all kinds of insurances out there that you can do a lot. Catastrophic, you can get travel insurance. There's all kinds of ways to at least set yourself up for, not to get hit so hard in a medical emergency. I'm assuming she didn't have any here. So not sure whose fault that is. I don't know if that's Costa Rica. It sounds like kind of bad planning. Some people get lucky like me and some people don't. This is interesting. She goes, the public medical system is overtaxed unless you go private. Yes. Yeah. A lot of people have combos. A lot of the gringos out here, the expats that live here, do have combination. They are residents and they pay into the Caja socialized medicine, but they also have private. They also probably, they keep, their, I don't know, medical, the Medicare and all that kind of Medicaid stuff in the States, or they have their own private in the States as well. A lot of people come down here pretty prepared because either they're watching their health or they're unhealthy and they know they might have issues, so they get their insurances and they get covered, I guess, before they come down here. And I would tell you probably to do the same, on that. You got a plan. If you're going to wing it, well, we all, the best laid plans, man, things are going to happen. She's talked about if you have alcohol issues, not happening if you want support. Yours truly knows what it's like to deal with alcohol issues by themselves with zero support. I almost think it's the best way to do it, but that's just personally me. Now, there is an AA office 1 block from here, actually. It's probably Spanish, and I would never go in there, but it is there. And there's also, I've been thinking about doing this video. There's an alcohol program for gringos, well, anybody with an alcohol or abuse problem in San Jose, and also they run a place in Nosara. Now, if you don't know that, you think there is no support. Well, there is support. There is support. She just didn't know of these places, I guess. But I got to admit, the alcohol thing, if you come down here with any kind of pill problem or any kind of really problem and you're not dealing with it, Costa Rica can almost make it worse because of the simple life here, the time you're going to have on your hands. And again, let's relate it to alcohol. All of a sudden, you're drinking right before lunch or, all the way to dinner, passing out at night and stuff. And if you're going to, deal with that here, we all know that when you're drinking, that's just a Band-Aid on a wound. You still, even if you conquer the alcohol or the whatever drug you're into, you still got the wound. If you stop the drug, you still got to confront the wound. That's the harder part, if you ask me. And if you don't have that kind of support, that can be pretty bad. And not everybody makes it through that. I almost didn't, I think, so I would agree that if you have issues of abuses of alcohol or drugs, you might want to think twice, man, if you're going to come down here, especially by yourself. All right, so I want to recap a couple things. So money, if you're coming down on a really budget of around 1,000 to 1,500, please, you're going to have a side hustle just because of some of these other, things that can pop up. You can live down here for that, and pretty good actually, but things are going to come up. It doesn't have to be health. It can be all kinds of little things. You have to buy something, you have to get something, whatever it is. So think about that, about the money. Your expectations when you come down here, are they too high? Do you really know? So just because here's what happens. You watch this video and go, well, I don't have a problem with bats. Oh, I know that thing. Yeah, I don't drink alcohol. I don't got to worry about that. Or I don't have money problems. Or, oh, I already knew that about the culture. Oh, that doesn't bother me. Well, you don't know how bad some of this stuff can get. So you're hearing it. You might go, well, that thing isn't bother. Or I know that. Well, she's almost saying the other thing too, that she did her homework and research and it was still too much. So there's that. Now I'm hoping she sees this video, and I'm hoping she understands that I'm not trying, because I've seen this email hundreds of times. Some people just say things about a couple things. Other people, she just happened to hit a lot of the things, and that's why I'm using it. I am not bagging on this. Costa Rica is not for everybody. So, but it does sound like she kind of knew what she was getting into, but did she? Did she? I don't know. So again, I'm hoping she sees this and comments on this. So, so expectations, annoyances, money, health, and family. Those are the big things. And those annoyances can really, really add up. You know, whether it's, you know, the bureaucracy that you have to go through here, whether it is the barking dog, whether it is the mold, whether it is the humidity. Oh, it rains too much. I didn't know it rained this much. I knew it rained, Micheal, but you never said it rained this much. It can. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it does. I don't know where you're at in Costa Rica. Maybe it's, you know, it does rain a lot. I don't know. Bugs. That's another one. Bugs, man. I knew there were bugs, but I never saw that bug before. That's on steroids and shit. It's looking at me funny. So, whether it's, I don't know, the cobwebs, sometimes the maintenance isn't done very well. I mean, there's a million different things that you may be more upset about than you thought, which is like what happened. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about how I kind of view things. And this is, I definitely wouldn't use this as, you're probably not going to agree with, say. About the health stuff, I've always kind of been, I've dealt with some serious, I don't know, let's just say mental issues. I don't want to get into that. I have some of those videos. And I'm good, man. I don't worry about it. I don't worry about death at all. I don't worry about health. I do what I can to, do my own, eat right and exercise and stuff like that. But I also understand that things could happen. And if I guess I have a different viewpoint. Whatever life's going to give me health-wise, I will make my own decisions on how much I'm going to put up with, we'll say. So I don't really care. I don't know how to say that right, but maybe you get the drift. I do my best to be, I guess, healthy enough and keep my mind and body right. But if things start going south, I'll dictate, not my insurance. I'll have the insurance. I'll be 65 next year and I'll have, Medicaid, whatever the hell that is in the States and things like that. But, I just got a different view on that. I have mold. I don't have hot water in my sink. I don't have hot water in the kitchen. That stuff doesn't bother me. It's like you kind of got to pick your annoyances. And I've lived here so long, these little things don't bug me. Like the mold. Okay, mold maybe is a better example. I know mold's not good for you, man. Okay, I know that. I know. I don't care. I'm sorry. If I think it's too much, I'll do something about it, I guess. When I think it's affecting me, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't care, but I don't. I don't care. If I'll paint over it, I'll try to fix it. I don't know, but I just have a different way of viewing maybe some things. I could put up with the barking dogs and all that kind of stuff. So I think the point of this video more is whatever you're reading or, Costa Rica or seeing other people's videos, there might be a little bit of, rose-colored glasses on some of these things, because some of these things can be, maybe worse than you're thinking, I guess. And I want you to be ready for it. Maybe you need to lower your expectations on a few things. Anyway, guys, that's it, man. I'm just, this is just a heads up, you guys that live here, please, the comments help so many people. I've missed things. I don't get everything right. You guys have different opinions, different ways of doing things when you're living here and how you deal with stuff. Please comment, man. It helps. You know, I don't mind the feedback or whatever. It's fine. But please comment. Helps everybody. I'm Micheal Allen, over CostaRicaNow.com. Peace, guys. Hope it helps. My videos are going to pop up. Thinking about living or traveling anywhere, always do your homework and research. And if it's Costa Rica, I'm going to say my videos. No, no rose-colored glasses here, baby.